Hi friends, today I'm going to discuss event and subscriptions. This is a very demanding and important topic in Oracle Field Service. If you are updating any entity, it will generate events, but you can't read those events directly. First, you have to create a subscription, then only you'll be able to read the events. Oracle Integration Cloud has inbuilt Oracle Field Service adapter for integration based on event and subscriptions. So if you understand events and subscriptions, then you can easily integrate or easily configure OFSC adapter in OIC. So here I'm going to discuss client API access, how to enable API to access event and subscriptions, how to create subscriptions. We can create multiple subscriptions, but there is a trick. I will discuss in detail. We can also access all the subscriptions detail. We'll discuss the correct way to read events and we'll see the business requirements related to read events of a subscriptions and common mistakes that creates a problem. Here we'll see how to enable event related API for a client ID and client secret. Add application, create a event, application ID event, add API access. So it is a event is a part of core API. Available entities, business event, read write, collaboration event, read write, add. Now events related API is enabled for this user, client ID and client secret. Using this client ID and client secret, we would be able to access the events. Second, we'll create a subscription. This is an API for subscription creation. We can create a subscription using API only, post method, and we have to provide a payload in the body. Here you can see subscription configuration. We have to provide events, monitor changes and fields. Events, we can provide a number of events. Oracle Field Service provide a list of events. Oracle Field Service documentation list all available events like activity created, updated, user created, resource creation, deletion. A number of events are there. So we can add events according to our business requirement. Monitor changes. So this attribute will be monitored. So here I've given a status. We can provide a number of fields. So when a status will be updated, if any events will be generated, then we can read that events through this subscription. So here if status is updated, so I think activity update will not be triggered. It will trigger activity suspended or completed or cancelled or not done, mainly status related events. But if we are updating any, if we are monitoring any other fields, then it will trigger activity update. So we can add events according to our business requirement and we can add attributes to monitor according to our business requirement. We have to provide fields. So when an event will be generated, it will have the current value of these fields. If 10 events are generated in different time, so it will have the exact value at that time, exact values of these attributes at that time. Suppose we are creating a report for all changes, so we need these fields value at that time. So accordingly we can add more fields. So this is the way events subscriptions are created. Hit the send button. Here you can see subscription ID is generated. This is very important. Now we can read generated events using this subscription ID. We can create a number of subscriptions for different events. And these subscriptions, you have to note down this, these subscriptions are user client ID specific. We can easily create multiple subscription, but sometimes it doesn't work. So I will tell you it that what the reason. I will tell you the reason at the end. Next is get subscriptions. So here we have to change the method like get, and it will list all the available subscription for that client ID. It is also client specific, client ID specific, user specific. So here you can see this subscription is created, the events is monitor and fields. We can read subscription detail for a specific subscription. So we have to just add this. So it will provide the detail of this subscription ID only. If we want to check all the subscription available subscription for a user, then we can go with this get method. Same way we can delete the subscription using delete method. Only we have to provide the subscription ID. It will delete from the system. So we have completed client API access, how to create a subscription, detail of all the subscriptions. Now we'll see how to read events for a subscription. We can read subscription, but first we have to find out the page. So here you can see we have provided since parameter. So we have to read events after this since 30 May 2024. So it will provide the pages after 30 May. So we have to provide the subscription ID and since. So it will provide me a page. Hit this. So here it is showing 00 page. It means the event subscription is newly created and there is no events. We can read events only through the pages, but we have to find out the page number using since parameter. Since yesterday. So we have to provide the since yesterday date and subscription ID. It will give the page number. So here in Oracle Field Service, I'm creating an activity for this test resource. Activity is created. Here you can see inspection. So it will generate events. Now go to subscription and now I'll again hit. Here you can see page number is there. It means events has been generated. Now I have to access this page. So I'll go to the page and here I have to provide the subscription ID and page. Same, I mean, this is the API, event API. Here I have to provide the subscription ID and page number. Now I will get all the events. So here you can see activity created event is generated. And it is providing the next page detail. If I'll go and change on this activity. So now I'm going to change the activity, update the activity. I'll update the serial number, but this is not, we are not monitoring this. So we are monitoring the activity status. So we'll cancel it. Now we'll go to the since, hit same page number. So we'll go to the event. So here you can see activity created event is generated. Then activity cancelled event is generated. Two events are generated for the same activity. Activity detail, whatever we have provided in field level. So it will give these details. It will add a few vanilla fields, activity detail, and activity changes. Whatever field has been changes, it will show here. Now the second event is activity cancelled. Activity detail status is cancelled. And activity change field. See, these fields we have asked, but here activity changes related field. I mean, whatever field has been updated on the activity level. So status is cancelled. And travel estimation method not estimated. So here you can see how to read the events for a subscription. We can add a subscription for any event: inventory, resource, activity delay, activity reopen. Suppose you want to create a audit trail report for last 24 hours, you have to send it to some other system. So you can use events since yesterday. You'll provide here yesterday, and then you can read pages. So it will give you the detail of next page. If item is not null and next page is there, then you have to loop through. You have to again go from one page to another page, and you have to read all the events. So we go one page to another page, continuously we update, and when there is no item, then that is the last page. Now we know how to read events. We have to provide the since parameter date, will receive page number. We have to read all the events for the page, and then we have to go to the next page. Again, we have to read all the events for that page, next page, next page. So we can go till the end. Now we'll discuss what is the common mistake. Now I'm going to talk on common mistake that creates the problem, proper events not being received. So here you can see I have created a subscription. Activity created, events is there, and I'm monitoring status field. And I'm receiving these fields, current value of these fields. Now I have two different integrations. And I want to create one more subscription ID. So suppose I have removed these events, and here I have added activity type. So now I'm going to create another subscription with these events. Monitor change is different and fields is different. Send. So here you can see subscription, a new subscription ID is created. Go to subscription detail, and here you can see we have two subscriptions. Subscription ID this, subscription ID this. Now I'm using this subscription ID for a integration, and I'm using this subscription ID for another integration. Since I've already registered event activity created for monitoring field status, then it will not work in the new subscription for this subscription ID. Here activity created will not work for activity type because activity created is already registered for another subscription for this user client ID. We can't create a subscription with the same event for the same application ID. It will not work. It will, if when we'll try to read the events for this newly created subscription ID, it will return event related to activity created of the previous subscription. So whenever you will try to read this, it will return activity created events for this subscription where we are monitoring the status field. So it will give the wrong result. That is the common mistake I have seen in many implementation. You have to make sure that one user will have only one subscription ID, one for a event like event created or event completed. We cannot use same event in multiple subscriptions. It will return the values of previous subscription. This is the first mistake most of the developer does, and they blame that events is not working properly. If you want that event work properly, then you have to make sure that event is event is registered only for a subscription for a user. You can create with different user, that will work, but it will not work for same user. Here you can see it has given expiration time. if you will not access this subscription, then it will expire on this time. So you have to access this subscription using API before this. Otherwise it will expire. So you have to make sure that your subscription is continuously being accessed through the API. Otherwise it will be expired. Second common mistake that I have seen, when you read a subscription, when you read event based on the page, so according to documentation, it says if item count is 0, it means it is a lost page. But that is not a case. As per my experience, I have seen item is null, but it is providing the next page. If I'll go to the next page, then again it is providing next page. And after 4 5 next page, again I'm able to receive the items. Go to at least 10 next pages and make sure that there is no events. I have seen multiple times that in between I'm getting null items and again I'm getting the records. So go to at least 10 to 15 pages and make sure that there is no events remaining. So these are the two common mistakes I have seen most of the developer do, and that creates a problem. So don't forget to subscribe my channel, and if you have any issue you can comment. Thank you.